Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co host, Brian,
Yeah, buddy.
and our friend and host of the Strat Chat podcast, Kyle Petty.
Hi, hello.
We are here to talk Survivor. This is Survivor 45, episode 12, the ex girlfriend at the wedding. This was a pretty straightforward episode of Survivor. I thought it was a good episode, but there was not, and which happens obviously when you get down to the lower numbers, there wasn't as much intrigue and guesswork. I think we had a pretty straightforward reward challenge. I did like the immunity challenge where we were balanced on one foot with the ball. I thought that was
Yeah, that was
pretty good.
really
It was the
cool.
first time we don't get to see new
Yeah.
challenges often. So I did appreciate that. But I don't want to bury the lead, and I want to just dive into the conversation here. And really, it's with the elimination decision and the dynamic between Austin and Dee. So, as we're aware, last week, Austin made Dee aware of a plan to get rid of Julie and Blindsider. She went ahead and told her, so she was able to play her idol and save herself. We get into a similar situation this week where the tribe and the alliance, Drew, Katura, Julie, Dee, they decide that they want to get rid and blindside Drew. Um, when she is made aware of the plan and included, she doesn't share it with Austin. He's blindsided with the Drew elimination. So I want to hear from you guys. Like, where do you land just on this whole situation?
I mean, he's just the middle of the pack person now, right? Like I don't think he can win. He's been on the wrong side of too many things, and he burned an idol. And I think the girls are running the show right now.
Oof. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. Let's really unpack this thing. He didn't really burn an idol, right? Because this idol was expiring tonight either
Oh,
way.
okay, you're right. My bad.
Right. So not quite burned. And I think this situation is a little different. I think there's several different layers at play here. Um, Last week the situation was a little different because there are more people at play, right? So we were trying to build on the trust that we thought we had with Dee, and that's why we told her about the Julie vote. But now that we got past that vote, I do feel like the dynamic has shifted a little bit. So now it's like we've established what we are, and Dee told us as much, right? Once he kind of like put that trust in her, especially after bringing her on the reward challenge. Sorry, not
Mm-hmm.
to be a spoiler. I know we didn't really
That's
get
okay.
there,
It's fine.
but
We're not going to really
but it
dwell on that. The beach
right.
date.
Okay, but it does play into the dynamic of the relationship, right? And the
Yeah.
level of trust that we have between each other. So I do think that it's an interesting situation, because I do think that Dee can kind of get away with this a little bit more this week than Austin could have last week. And it's hard to really explain why, but it's just a feeling I get from the dynamics of the situation because there's so much at play. Um, and I think there is a world in which Austin can kind of let this whole thing go, um, because D is still there, and I think that he's a little whipped.
that
Um,
listen, that's where it comes down for me. Like I don't think, frankly, like Brian said, I think he's been on the wrong side of too many votes now. I don't see where he's going to have a real stake to win outside of maybe the people just liking him, but a lot of them aren't going to, that we know in the jury, like that crew. I just think that, like, at the end of the day, I don't like what Austin was doing last week. There was no reason to tell that secret. You just let the blind side happen. And he was afraid to do what D was able to do this week and say, hey, look, this is a new relationship. It's really, it's exciting and it could be something. But at the end of the day, I need to play 75-25, playing Survivor and having a relationship thoughts, versus I think Austin literally making it like 50-50. And in the end of the day, he went with his emotional feelings because he really wanted to end up with her. And maybe in his subconscious, he knew he probably wasn't going to win. I don't know. But like, I just, it was just frustrating to watch. I was frustrated last week when he did it. And then it was just like, damn, this happened, swung right back on him a week later. Like and it's just he was looking at her at tribal. She wouldn't look at him. And so I'm very intrigued for the first like few minutes of what is it, the 20th or something like that, through the date out there, the next episode. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that interaction and how quickly he gets over it, or if he is hurt by it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that too. And I think that will also kind of answer some of the questions that were left, unanswered from last week's, right? Like whether or not Austin really made the right decision by telling Dee about the Julie vote, because you don't know where the game is going to end up later. This game being so fluid. So it's like, do I really want to be the person do I really want to like break trust with this person, not knowing where the game is going to go? Because I don't know when I might need Dee's trust to kind of get me out of a sticky situation. So there is that layer to it too.
Run out of time.
Run out of time quick. What are we at 6 now?
You are
Five.
running out of time.
Five,
Next week's the
five.
finale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
no, you're
20th is the
right.
finale
You're
at 5.
right.
You're right.
How much of that do they know in the situation though? Like, I think that's kind of what's tricky about the way that this show is going, because we're going into now finale night technically with 5 people.
Yeah.
So before we even get to that final tribal, we still need to lose 2.
Well, it's 1 and then fire making, right?
Yeah, one more tribal
how
and
that
a
goes?
fire
Goes.
making.
I thought it just goes. Like you eliminate someone, then you go right in.
That's what they're gonna do. There's one more tribal, like one more like pre-final
Okay.
tribal. So we're gonna have one more immunity challenge, and then, like you said, so then
See
there'll
a
be
20-minute montage of people slapping.
four
kindling
people up
together.
for elimination, 5 votes, and then we have the fire making. So
Well,
boom,
that
boom,
that,
boom.
that certainly does mean something too, in an environment where we know that this amulet is dead now, where the idol that he gave Julie was good up until this next vote that we're seeing now next week. So,
Yeah.
we don't really want to burn bridges like too soon, because it's still a little early, like for that.
Well, I mean, it's good for our buddy Jake. I mean, like I said, he ostensibly, like, he could just he's got himself into the fire, right? Like
Yes.
with that idol. So
Right.
Well,
they
that
don't
makes
know
me
that
certainly
yet.
happy.
If I'm him, I'm
Love
just
Jake.
putting it
Don't
on
tell
myself.
anybody, man. Just be quiet. Do something
Put
good.
it on. Don't tell nobody.
I don't think he will.
Put it right on yourself, dude. Don't say a word. Put it on yourself. Let people think you're an easy dump vote, or they don't, whatever they're gonna go
Yeah,
for,
maybe go in and start acting a fool, and then just play that idol. Like
and let
call
it
it the
deflect.
ruckus.
Yes. Just see what the chaos leads us to.
Tell people that you're like really,
Yeah.
really good at fire. Like you practiced it. You can do it in like 3 minutes. Like, for like, just start like letting that
Yeah.
slip. And
I can do it without using my hands, stuff like that. You know,
and people probably aren't going to believe him. They didn't believe his lies before. I like him, but he tried to make up stuff before and it didn't work. So
Love
I
Jake.
might not believe.
I love Jake.
And yeah, and another thing, remember, like this dude was passing out like a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't been brought up once.
That I want that addressed.
No,
I
seriously,
want that
man. Like
addressed.
how
I
are they
wanna
letting that go? That dude was
I wonder
catching
how
fire.
much of that passing out actually was real. Now that we know, from socials
Pretty
after
real.
the fact,
Oh,
now
reckless.
knowing that he's a theater person and
That's a
knowing that,
reckless
that's where he
speculation.
comes from, like what if all that was fake and it was just
That'd
a
be
wig?
funny.
Because
I thought he was a lawyer.
he is a lawyer, but he also does theater on the side.
That is a reckless speculation right there.
Acting.
No, it's not a speculation. No, him and I share a kinship, because he
Oh,
was
right. Yeah,
also
well,
the
you find that
lion
out.
in The Wizard of Oz, as was I.
But I
so
want to know
who
about the
knows?
passing
Like,
out.
I wouldn't want to act falling face first into a flame. That's just my I will rebuttal with that.
Who
that wouldn't be my choice. However, he always did that in front of someone else.
This is a crazy, crazy thing.
I'm just
Who
saying,
do we-
was that a way to kind of like gain some kind of like, not necessarily favor,
Sympathy?
but maybe some empathy? Yeah, something from somebody else, because he always did it at least in
That's
front
a
of one
long
other
play,
person.
but I appreciate it if it's true.
Listen, if you
Yeah,
appreciate
I
the long
guess
play,
we'll
I really
see.
think that he kind of started sowing those seeds at that one tribal where he acted like he forgot what words he wanted to say. Do you remember that tribal?
Yep, yep,
He's
yep.
like, "Oh, I'm just really, really burnt out." I don't think he was burnt out. I think he intended to say some wrong things in those moments to make it look as if he wasn't as dialed in as he should be, so that he can start making some strategic moves. Could be an overreach, but we'll see how it goes.
You know, Kyle, we'll find out next week.
We shall
We will
will.
find out next
We
week.
shall will.
Our prediction, knowing
We
that it wouldn't
shall.
get past the new year, it won't get past. But the last thing, who do you guys think is going to win next week?
Ooh. I want to ride with Julie. I really do.
Obviously, I want Jake. I also see a world in which Katora takes it.
Yeah, I can see that
I
too.
like. I was going to say Katura. I think it's Katura and Julie, but for me, the fire is a great equalizer. It
Mhm.
really just comes down to the elimination, the immunity challenge. I mean, it always is huge at the end there, but this one's it's everything because there are so many viable people. I love Jake too, but like he was saying, like he may need to like win an immunity and give it up and do the fire type thing, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
does he have enough of a case to say that he played his own game fully, right? Do we? D can say that. I think Julie can say that, but like it's gonna be really interesting. So
My only pushback on that is like, I mean, if you look at some of the last people that won, do you really need to be like a heavy hitter?
not
Ooh.
I know what you're saying, but those casts were different as well. The cast matched the winner, I think, and like the energy. I think there were some good blindsides here. There were some people that were upset that they ended up in the jury, and that's like kind of like old school to me. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that the jury is gonna reflect and
Mm.
want to give it to the best player in the game and not just like anti the people they hate. Like a mix of that'll be nice, but I do want to see some recognition of who played a good game. So think
That's
Couture did
fair.
play a good game when it comes down to it. And she does have the little bit of the sympathetic part. Like she did let that out. And so now a lot of these new kind of tribes, no, she hasn't really screwed it. She hasn't screwed any of them.
No, she hasn't. I also don't think that D's game should be overlooked, though.
I've been
You know,
saying D ran the game for a while.
yeah, D has been very strong all throughout. No one is saying her name. Um,
The girls would vote
period.
for D. Like D would be smart to get to the final three with like an Austin. You know what I mean? Someone where
Mhm.
like there he's not going to steal any votes from her. They're just going to anyone who would vote for him would vote for her. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's
Right,
interesting.
right. It
Interesting to see
is.
where Drew will land. Drew will respect. They said he was mad. They said he seemed pissed off that he got blindsided. I think he'll be.
Fuck you.
I
Get
thought
Drew out of here. He
Yeah,
stunk.
Drew sucks.
see a Zelda.
Mm.
I'm really looking forward to the finale. A nice little pre-holiday treat there right before Christmas.
Mhm.
Kyle, I know you are going to be doing full coverage coming up next week of this episode of Survivor on Strat Chat. What else do you guys have going on?
Yeah, Survivor's on Monday at 9:30. But before that, obviously we have the Challenge 39 on Thursdays at 9:30. Then we're doing Big Brother Reindeer Games, which has been a hoot and a half. 9 Big Brother legends competing for Santa's blessing as well as $100,000. And we're doing that at 10:30 on Thursdays. Which has been honestly a very good time. So if you're not into it, get into it. Um, Big Brother Reindeer is a real hoot.
Give peace a chance.
Yeah, come on. Good
I'm here
old
for
fashioned
Santa.
holiday fun. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, check them
Get
out
yours
on
for Santa.
YouTube, TikTok, all social media platforms. Same thing for
Yeah.
us. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. But for ourselves, myself, Brian, Kyle, until next week's finale, thank you for watching. Peace.